games are now $70 where prior they were $60, so a $10 difference. And I don't get why people are upset about this.
Wow, what a fucking shocker. A console fanboy that is too busy smelling his own farts doesn't see why people are upset with games going up in price. You know, if there's one thing all console fanboys have in common, it's their lack of common sense and utter retardation. I bet this dude sat down in his overpriced office chair he probably got at Staples and thought he was some sort of fucking philosopher. I mean, this dude really is the PlayStation fanboy equivalent of Harmon Smith. Shit, for all we know, they're cousins. Speaking of which, our good friend Harmon is probably once again busy having a mental breakdown over the Steam Deck as we speak.
Wait a minute. Something's not right. Oh yeah, that's freaking better, baby. That's freaking better, baby.
Yeah, this has literally nothing to do with the video. Just thought I'd share the simple fact that we now have motherfuckers called Creamy Boy doing shirtless Doom Eternal G Fuel reviews. What a time to be alive. Though at this point the dev doesn't sound that bad. That aside, what is up guys? Fucking Creamy Boy here, back with another video.
That's freaking better, baby.
So today I thought we'd take a break from the usual suspects, those being Nintendo fanboys, and discuss another whole breed of console fanboys, those being Sony ponies, who just like Nintendo Switch fanboys will go to the ends of the earth to protect the honor of their corporate overlords. I mean, putting aside that Nintendo fanboys overall are an insane bunch who escaped from the mental asylum, they at least aren't as toxic as the majority of PlayStation fanboys who will literally gatekeep what it means to be a gamer. Though honestly, I don't think that's a huge loss. I mean, if being a gamer consists of acting like a piece of plastic with a controller that seems like it wants to be a vibrator more than anything else is the holy grail, then I think I'll take my leave. But anyway, the video we're taking a look at today is called Are PS5 Games Worth $70? And it's from this Soyboy PlayStation fanboy called Fornatron, who just like the other two individuals mentioned in this video, looks like your average Discord moderator. And seeing how this man also made a video called Xbox Gamepass is plain you, which deserves a video of its own, tells us all we need to know about where this man's loyalties lie. But with all of that said, let's just get into this shit.
Yo, so today we're gonna be talking about why is everybody bitching about $70 games?
Because Sony and whoever else is raising the price of games are a bunch of greedy fucks, and games are already expensive as it is. I mean, at least with Xbox, you've got Xbox Game Pass, which likely has most of the games you'd be interested in. While Sony's PS Now is hot garbage, and they want you to spend $70 on shitty games brand new. But we'll get into the specifics of those things later on in the video as they become relevant, so don't you worry.
It's dumb. Let's get brutal.
It's moments like these where I wish I was of legal drinking age, because I think some Hennessy or some shit right about now would make this video a whole lot more tolerable. I mean, putting aside the fact that this dude looks like he walked straight out of that Saints Row reboot with that Karen cut, he starts doing gang signs or some shit while going brutal. I really don't know what to make of this man. He tries to act hard while looking like your average Twitter user. Jesus Christ, in the time that I've been on YouTube, I've seen some horrendous intros, which at the end of the day are over-glorified transitions. And while this shit definitely isn't the worst, it ain't great either. Like, goddamn, that fucking intro made me jump. And of course, I had my volume all the way up, so it was literal ear-rape. Like, while editing this video, the fucking volume slider went all the way to the red zone. Motherfucker couldn't be bothered to normalize his audio. But overall, intros need to burn in a grease fire explosion.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Fornatron.
Yeah, I definitely wish I had some shit to null the senses while I watch this video. If him blowing out my eardrums and his pure console fanboy retardation wasn't enough, he's gonna end me with Cringe, which is the modern day equivalent of poison gas that was used in the trenches of World War II.
And today, we're gonna be talking about the controversial topic of why games are $70 and
I feel like that's pretty simple to answer. I mean, the simple truth is that corporations are greedy fucks who realize their customers are dumb as hell and will take any and all opportunities to buttfuck them out of their money doggy style. It doesn't go much deeper than that, but feel free to educate me, dude. I'm sure you're a certified expert on the topic. I mean, judging from the way you look, you're bound to have more than one walls of virginity.
games are raising in price and how they're pricing people out, and I got a few things to say about this. Let's get into it.
Holy shit, I'm gonna get a fucking aneurysm from watching this shit. But that aside, why the fuck does this dude have like 2 intros? Are these gonna pop out of nowhere as they please from here on? Like, I really don't get why this man would feel the need to have 2 separate intros within the first minute of his video. Other than to remind people that the shit is an actual video and to keep their attention with loud noises. I mean, this dude might as well start jingling his fucking keys next.
Alright, so this all started when Sony announced that PS5 games would be $10 more than their PS4 equivalents. And this drove everyone crazy. Everyone flipped their shit over this.
Aren't you people tired of being screwed over? Fucking right!
So games are now $70 where prior they were $60, so a $10 difference. And I don't get why people are upset about this.
Alright, listen here, Mr. fucking Potato Head, I want you to listen. So this shit goes through your thick skull, okay? The only way you could not see the problem with this is if either you're really ignorant, or if you are on the likes of Bill Gates, and have wads of cash spilling out of your ass crack, and are incredibly privileged to the point of a $70 game not even being close to putting a dent in your wallet. Like, dude, I'm not gonna just drop $70 on some shitty game when I could go take that money and order like 17.5 Big Macs. The average person isn't made of gold, you soy boy. And it's not even like any of the games that cost $70 are any good anyway. Like, one of the first games to come out with that ridiculous price tag was Godfall, which blew its load on the graphics, and is incredibly mediocre otherwise.
Inflation's been a thing for a really long time, and I feel like games have been in like the $70, $80, sometimes $90 mark for years.
Yeah, no. For the last 20 years or so, games have been consistently around $60 for the standard edition, alongside with the more expensive versions that came with more content in the forms of skins or DLC. And inflation is pretty irrelevant when you take into account that gaming wasn't as large as it is today, and the gaming industry certainly isn't hurting for cash. I mean, the likes of Madden, which is known nowadays for their shitty user scores, is still selling like hotcakes. By the way, the people buying games like Madden every year are likely the reason why companies are raising the price of games. But that aside, I don't really get the need for this video to exist. This man is actually defending having to pay more for games. Wouldn't you ideally want to get them for as cheap as possible? Like, what the fuck?
Even when I was a kid and I was buying Super Nintendo games. Okay, I wasn't buying them, my parents were buying them, but...
So what the fuck is your argument? Your entire point falls apart when you literally admit it wasn't you buying your games, but your parents. And you know who this price increase is gonna affect the most? That's right, people with no disposable income. Like kids, or people who can't work. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't even legally work part-time in America unless you're 16. You know, not everyone growing up had the luxury of asking mommy for the visa, and instead had to wait until something like their birthday or Christmas to get some money for a game or some shit. And this price hike isn't helping anyone. Jesus Christ, this video is shit.
I feel like they're the same price. So yeah, I'm old.
How do you do, fellow kids?
I really don't get why people think that games being priced at $70 prices people out.
I mean, just refer to my previous point about people who've had access to disposable income, especially in a global pandemic where millions are unemployed. But honestly, I don't feel like virtue signaling, so once again, you've got to love the fact this man is actually white knighting for his corporate overlords, and is trying to justify paying more money for no reason.
That's just not true. If you want to have a game on launch day, right when it comes out, yeah, you're gonna pay full price for it.
Well, unless you're on PC and can go to Steam key resellers like CityKeys and Gamivo. I mean, this is an example I've used in a previous video, and it's where you can pre-order Dying Light 2 for $46 instead of $60 on CityKeys. I mean, you can't do that on PlayStation, where Sony literally banned the ability to use key resellers, because they're a bunch of greedy fucks that just love having a monopoly. I mean, that aside, Microsoft isn't forcing you to buy their games at full price, when they've got a service like Xbox Gamepass, where they release all of their first-party titles on no additional cost. And Gamepass as a whole is really pro-consumer, especially for people who don't have as much disposable income.
That's the way. That's just how it is.
This is the way.
If you can't afford to buy that game, don't buy it. Wait till it goes on sale. A ton of people in my PS5 disc versus digital edition always comment how they're buying games used, or they're buying them on sale on Amazon, or they're buying them off of eBay. They're pretty much buying them every other way other than right off the rip, brand new, launch day, or through the digital store.
You know, I'd agree with that only if it wasn't for the fact that Sony has an all-digital version of the PS5 available for purchase, so using disc copies is literally impossible. And alongside the fact that Sony essentially banned third-party key resellers, people with the all-digital PS5 are pretty much forced to either shell out $70 for a new game, or wait a millennium for it to drop in price.
So I don't get it. Like, a lot of you are not buying these games day one, which is a shame.
That's right, dude. It really is a shame you don't get to spend your money on riveting games like fucking Goodbye Volcano High, which Sony promoted back in their initial PS5 reveal event back in 2020.
I don't know why Sony thought it would be a great idea to cater to furries, and clearly I'm not the only one thinking that. All the characters look like they belong in a shitty gacha video. They have like a million fucking accessories slapped onto them. I mean, at the very least, the memes that came out of this were pretty good.
But I don't get what's wrong with being financially responsible. And I find it funny this motherfucker cried over a hypothetical increase in his Gamepass video and acted like Netflix making you pay $1 more for their service was a war crime.
So Netflix has been out forever. When that service first came out, it was like $8 a month. And yeah, you got physical DVDs in the mail, but it was still $8 a month. And then when they moved to online, they still kept that $8. Guess how much Netflix costs now per month for their basic plan? Yeah, it costs $9 a month now.
Oh my god, the $1 increase is gonna cost me to go bankrupt. But paying $70 for shitty games is perfectly fine. This guy is a fucking hypocrite.
Being a former musician,
Oh my god, this motherfucker makes music. Jesus Christ, I don't even want to know what that would even sound like. If his videos and obnoxiously loud intros are anything to go off by, his shit is probably used in North Korean concentration camps to interrogate people.
I really feel on this topic because a lot of musicians, it's make or break for them with their record company if their album doesn't make a huge amount of sales in its first week.
I mean, it sounds to me like you should just make good music that people would actually want to listen to, instead of looking for the nearest object to stab their eardrums out to stop their ears from being violated. Problem fucking solved.
It's the same with movies on launch weekend or when the movie first releases. It's the same with games. More people need to be buying games day one.
First of all, there's literally nothing good to watch, and I feel like it's pretty stupid to compare games to movies, which are two entirely different mediums with different price points. With movies and shows, you either pay a subscription fee or go buy a ticket for like $10 to $15, and can't exactly buy a movie for $60 to $70. So unless you're talking about a service like Gamepass, I feel like it's pretty pointless to compare the two.
But I understand, a lot of you can't afford that. Hell, I can't afford to be buying games like every week.
I mean, you say you understand not being able to shell out $70 for a new game, yet this video somehow exists. And pretty much throughout the entirety of the video so far, you've been damage controlling for Sony's behalf like a good little dog. Like, what the hell? This man is a walking contradiction.
I only buy the games that I want to play.
I mean, why would you buy games you wouldn't want to play? What, are you a masochist that gets off to playing Fortnite?
There are a lot of games on PS5 that have come out that look great. Ratchet and Clank, Sackboy, Bugsnax. I don't know, there's a bunch that look amazing. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Again, those games look incredible.
I mean, you've got to love how this dude's examples were two shitty platformers, one of which was directed at furries, a shitty tech demo for kids, and a over-glorified DLC. I mean, overall, PlayStation's exclusives lineup has been pretty shit recently. All the games that came out for the PlayStation 5 so far have been incredibly mediocre. And if you go even further back to 2020, you had games like Death Stranding, which was the epiphany of a walking simulator, and of course, you had the Laugh at Ass Part 2. Brought to you by the masterminds at Disobedient Canine, Neil Cockman Fuckman, and whoever else was involved with that shit. The only game Sony released recently that I'd consider playing is Ghost of Tsushima, which at the end of the day is pretty much just Assassin's Creed in Japan.
But they're not my type of game, and I don't buy them. I don't buy them on launch day. I don't even buy them on sale. because they're just not my type of game.
Okay, so continue to not buy them. But I don't get how this is supposed to disprove any criticisms of Sony raising the price of games to $70. I say this a lot, but I guess you can't expect common sense and any intelligence from console fanboys.
I don't know where the pressure is coming from for a lot of people to be buying games day one regardless if they know they like them or not.
Motherfucker, you're literally the poster boy for defending $70 games. Did you forget that you were filming this very video where you literally get down on all fours and take it up the ass from Sony? Do you think before you speak? I mean, the contradictions just don't stop.
I feel like by now, if you have been playing games for more than a couple of years, you know what kind of games you like. So you should know which games you're looking forward to and which ones you want to invest in on buying day one when they come out.
Okay, and that justifies games being $70 because...
If you're brand new to gaming, yeah, it's a little bit more tricky, but I would kind of buy some older games that are on sale or try out a service like PS Now or Xbox Gamepass.
Go with Gamepass, avoid PS Now like it's the plague, because you're bound to get more than a few STDs from using it. My friend had it for a while and you literally couldn't download most of the games on there, and instead had to stream them from Sony shitty servers, which is another thing. Sony is incredibly infamous for their network support being shit. I mean, putting aside something like the 2011 hack, I literally remember experiencing so many party chat crashes on PS4 due to NAT type problems. This type of shit never happened on PC or Xbox.
And then play some free games and then find which ones you like and then build off of there. I don't get why people are frustrated by this.
Wait a fucking minute, you sly cunt. You're not weaseling yourself out of this one.
But I understand. A lot of you can't afford that. But I understand.
So which one is it, dude? Do you or do you not understand not being able to pay $70 due to not having access to disposable income, being stuck with an all-digital system, or the games overall being shitty? And so the contradictions continue, and the credibility of this man falls by the minute. I mean, 1 minute he says one thing, but says the opposite another.
Gaming companies have grown so much, even in the last 10 years. Games are huge epics now. They are the equivalent to Marvel movies that cost $200 million to make. And games like equal that or more. Like, they're insane.
You know, I find it funny this dude used Cyberbug 2007 as his example, because all it does is make my job easier. So apparently cyber shit cost $313 million to make. But when you go back and look at the cost of CD Projekt's last game, which by the way, as overrated as it is still a much better game than the clusterfuck that is Cyberbug. And it cost $81 million, which is not even a third of cyber shit's cost. So you have a game like The Witcher 3 that costs less to make and is overall leagues better. So all that tells you is that the publisher or whoever else is responsible for managing the game's budget is terrible at their job. And the thing is, a good amount of the $313 million was used purely for the marketing, which would make sense seeing how I literally could not escape the ads for Cyberbug leading up to its launch for a solid month. I mean, Cyberbug still sold well and made a hefty profit with a price tag of $60, but this guy's somehow making the argument that it's the consumer's responsibility to fix the shitty decisions made by the people behind the game.
The prices must rise. If we're expecting the kind of quality that we've been getting, especially recently, yeah, the cost of gaming has to go up.
Oh yeah, dude, nothing screams quality like Cyberbug 2007, a game with more bugs and glitches than Fallout 76 at launch. But who are you to tell someone what quality is, when you literally contradict yourself every other 2 minutes and have an intro that's literal e-rape?
But again, you are not obligated to pay full price for games.
I mean, tell that to the people stuck with the all-digital PS5. And your points in this video prove that you think otherwise.
If you don't want to, if you don't have the means to. If you don't have the means to, then yeah, continue buying games used, or buy them off eBay, or buy them when they go on sale.
Refer to my previous points because I really don't feel like repeating myself again.
What I will say is if there's a franchise that you follow, especially if it's from a smaller developer, save up some money and buy their game on launch day. It means a lot. It really pushes that developer into the next phase or becoming like a AA title to a AAA title in their next title.
Who the fuck are you to tell me how I should spend my money? If I see a game I'm interested in, I'm either gonna wait for a sale or get it used, seeing how I'm not in a position where I have cash flowing out of my ass crack.
My favorite example, and you've probably heard me say it 100 million times, is From Software. If From Software never got the chances they got with Dark Souls, they would not have ever released Bloodborne or any of the rest of the Dark Souls games or Sekiro or now Elden Ring. It took them building their fan base or people finding out about them for them to get to where they are today. If the word of mouth then spread on Demon Souls back on 2009, From Software probably would have fizzled out or maybe continued to make those Armored Core games from way back in the day and just been another irrelevant game developer in the times now.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind another Armored Core game. And don't forget Otogi. Oh, and none of the games you just listed were $70.
I challenge you, don't just buy every game out there. Find a developer or a franchise that you believe in and buy their next game on launch day.
Yeah, I did just that with Bethesda and Fallout 76, and we know how that turned out. Like, I admit I got my enjoyment out of it and that I'm likely gonna get Starfield, but your argument of blindly following a developer into the fire falls apart when you've got a situation like Fallout 76, where besides the game not being what was promised at launch, motherfuckers literally gave people nylon bags instead of the canvas ones that were advertised in the collector's edition.
It means a lot, it's gonna help the developer in a big way, and that's how they get to the next level and make AAA titles.
No, I think all it takes is Microsoft buying them out for $7.5 billion, and them going to the quote-unquote next level is something you won't experience if you exclusively play on PS5. Sucks to suck, man. Better luck next time.
Anyway, I just wanted to rant about this topic, something that I feel passionately about. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, what your opinions are. Am I wrong? Let me know. I'm gonna head out of here. Just do me one last favor. Have yourself a great day. Cheers, everybody.
Well, dude, I can tell you right now, you definitely had to do some sort of mental gymnastics for your video to make any sense at all. But just like that, the video comes to a close with an outro just as obnoxious as the intro. I guess the major takeaway from this video is that, you know, $70 games are now the norm. Get with the times, Gramps. And prepare to get on all fours and take it up the ass from Sony. Because the PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan cock is just that good. Speaking of which, Jim Ryan looks like a fucking rat infused with Gordon Ramsay. Case closed. Nah, but that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, or else this Soyboy is gonna force you to pay $70 for each and every game that you play, regardless of the platform. Oh, and don't forget to throw in Creamy Boy in the mix.
That's freaking better, baby.
But in all seriousness, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
So creamy with a crunch. B, B, and C is what I'm thinking of. And it only put me out in my recent thoughts. Peanut butter chocolate, great when separate. When they combine, they make the morning time epic. Morning time epic. Morning time epic.